Today, AMD's new monster CPU overclocks to the moon. A world first with something amazing. Is Nvidia a thief? And AMD's answer to all our problems. Welcome everyone to Gamer Melt. First up for today, AMD's new 96-core Threadripper Pro 7990WX just got an all-core overclock of over 6 GHz.
Oh my.
At first, it was reported that a team of overclockers from AMD, including the ever-popular Der Bauer, were able to get an all-core overclock of 6 GHz. Now, this was done with liquid nitrogen, but we're talking it got a Cinebench R23 score of 201,501. Before the 7990WX, the highest score was with 2 EPYC CPUs. Granted, those were water-cooled, but it has 2 of them, and it only scored 147,668. But get this, since that Threadripper score came out, it's actually been beat multiple times already. The first place currently goes to the user SafeDisk, who was able to overclock the CPU all the way up to 6.25 GHz, and he scored a shocking 210,702 in Cinebench R23. Basically, all of this is to say that AMD's new Threadripper CPUs are the unrivaled champs at multi-threaded performance. And next up for today, ASUS just announced a world's first GPU with a very special secret. But first, we're all tech enthusiasts, so you probably have a laptop, a tablet, a fast phone, all that good stuff. The problem is that you need something to charge it all and charge it fast. Well, today I've got the first ever 300 watt 5-port monster charger from this video sponsor, Ugreen. It's the charger I use when I need to do it all. I'm talking charge multiple laptops, a phone, and more all at once. It includes a dedicated 140 watt output port, a total output of 300 watts, along with power delivery 3.1 specs for ultra fast charging. It can charge a 16-inch MacBook Pro from 0 to 56% in just 30 minutes. The ports include 4 USB-C and 1 USB-A to fast charge 5 devices at once. And it supports all of these fast charging protocols. Oh, and don't worry about overheating, because their built-in thermal guard reads the temperature 6,000 times a minute to keep all your connected devices protected, and that includes overcharge, overheating, and excess current protection. So don't wait and pick up the Ugreen Nexode 300 watt charger today. Plus, Ugreen is offering Black Friday deals for up to 50% off. Check that out in the description below. Now back to the story. Just today, ASUS announced the dual RTX 4060 Ti SSD. Yeah, you heard that right. A GPU SSD. If that has you scratching your head, let me explain. The dual GeForce RTX 4060 Ti SSD is essentially a full-blown GPU. It comes with all the features of Nvidia's 4060 Ti in a 2.5 slot design with a single 8-pin connector. But it also comes with a very interesting cutout on the rear of the card for a full M.2 SSD slot, making this the first ever GPU with an SSD on board. It works by allotting 8 PCI Express lanes for the GPU and the remainder given to the SSD. Now this all might sound really weird, but there are actually a couple benefits to this. For one, because the SSD slot is mounted to the heatsink, it uses the GPU's cooling capabilities. According to ASUS, this actually gives the SSD up to 40% cooler temps, leading to longer sustained read and write performance. Not only that, but it could be a great solution for those with smaller non-ATX boards that don't have a lot of slots. Either way, it's nice to see interesting new ideas in a space that's been pretty mature for quite a while. Next up, a new lawsuit is accusing Nvidia of stealing trade secrets, and it really doesn't look good for the company. The story revolves around a software developer who took a job with Nvidia back in 2021, shortly after quitting at the German automotive company Valeo. Well, in March of 2022, the developer, along with 4 other Nvidia staff, were on a video call with Valeo because the two companies had similar contracts with an unnamed auto company. During the video conference call, Valeo's former employee was screen sharing his computer for the presentation, but when he minimized the presentation, he didn't end the screen sharing, and on his computer, he actually had Valeo code as well as a file description that said Valeo docs. Apparently, the Valeo employees on the conference call noticed that it was source code and screenshot it before the call could be ended. According to the lawsuit, Valeo then conducted an audit on their systems and found that on April of 2021, the former employee copied, quote, the entirety of Valeo's parking and driving Assistant source code from his valet computer to a personal computer. There are apparently tens of thousands of files. Now, you might be thinking, okay, this may not be that big of a deal. He may not have known that he was going to leave the company or whatever. But here's the thing. 2 months ago, a German court convicted him of unlawful acquisition, use, and disclosure of Vallejo trade secrets. So it certainly seems like he did do something wrong. According to Vallejo's lawsuit, Nvidia's software engineers have access to and are using Vallejo's secrets, and that it saved Nvidia millions if not hundreds of millions of dollars in development costs. Now, Nvidia obviously claims that they didn't know anything about this until 2022, so it's tough to say for sure, but I guess we'll find out with this lawsuit. Either way, it doesn't look great for Nvidia. And lastly for today, if you're like me and you feel like GPU prices have gotten to a level that's honestly shocking at this point, I actually have good news. AMD's next-gen RX 8000 could finally be the answer we're looking for. If you've been following this channel, you know that multiple rumors have surfaced claiming AMD's next-gen GPUs will not compete with Nvidia on the high end, instead focusing on more mid to lower end cards. Well, according to a new report from Red Gaming Tech, he's hearing some news on performance and pricing. For starters, he's currently aware of 3 upcoming series of GPUs, one being the 8800 series, surprisingly based on Navi 31. Then there's a Navi 48 for the RX 8700 series and Navi 44 for the 8600 series. In terms of performance, his sources claim that the highest end Navi 4 SKU is around a 7900 GRE performance with a bit faster ray tracing. Now, I'm not sure if he's referring to this Navi 31 SKU since it's technically not RDNA 4, but here's the thing. If this is true, and AMD basically gives us a tiny boost in ray tracing and essentially no boost in high-end performance, there's only one way they could justify that and sell GPUs, and that's with much cheaper prices. And according to Red Gaming Tech, these Navi 4 SKUs are going to be fairly small monolithic dies that won't be all that expensive. Basically, we may finally get GPUs in the mid-range that don't break the bank. I doubt we'll see price to performance as great as the RX 480 back in the day, but at this point, anything helps. So while that does it for today, are you pumped to finally get cheaper GPUs? And what do you think about that Nvidia lawsuit? Let me know down in the comments below. And make sure you check out that monster Ugreen charger in the description below. And as always, have a great day.